This is News Point at 11.
Good evening, I'm Tanae Howard, and right now on News Point at 11 tonight, authorities say 2 teenagers were behind a botched robbery that turned deadly this week. What authorities say needs to change to address violence among the city's youth. Legacy is shutting its doors. It is a Legacy here in central Indiana. New details tonight on what led Scotty's Brewhouse to sudden bankruptcy. And also, Iowa firefighters are at risk for their safety every time they rush out to a call. We're going to tell you about a new health service that's helping them bounce back faster and stay connected when they're hurt on the job. But first tonight, we're learning more about a pair of teenage suspects accused in a deadly robbery at a Dollar General store in Cumberland. Police say a 14-year-old pulled the trigger, killing Gregory Rayleigh in the parking lot. Police arrested the 14-year-old and 18-year-old Stephen Shepard, who police say also took part in the robbery. Court records show Rayleigh approached the door to find his fiancee, who was inside shopping at the time, when he was shot in the chest. Rayleigh's friend said he died trying to protect his family.
You know, family was always a big part of him growing up, you know, anybody real close to him, you know. He was just always stuck up for him.
Shepard is due in court tomorrow, but it could get pushed back. We are not identifying the 14-year-old because he has not yet been charged as an adult. So we brought you stories of teens pulling the trigger and teens who are found on the other side of the gun. Right now, there are efforts underway to change both of those scenarios. Tonight, we're asking police what can be done. Fox 59's Haley Bull has the story.
It takes just one moment for lives to change forever.
Obviously, anytime we have juveniles involved in violent crime like we've seen over the weekend, and any kind of crime for that matter, it's concerning to us.
This week, a 14-year-old and 18-year-old arrested after a deadly robbery at a Dollar General in Cumberland. Earlier this month, 2 teens arrested after the shooting of a deputy at an Indianapolis restaurant. And these are far from the only times teens are accused of pulling the trigger or found on the other side of the gun, too.
A lot of our kids live in environments where they see violence every single day. They've experienced trauma at younger and younger ages, and so we as a community have to wrap our arms around that.
Police say $3 million has been invested in community outreach groups. The Office of Public Health and Safety is trying to disrupt violence. Beat policing will help build better relationships, and the Indianapolis Violence Reduction Partnership continues having bi-weekly meetings and identifying people who need intervention and services outside law enforcement.
And that could be family members from people that we arrest. So, you know, if we arrest a 17-year-old who has been involved in violent crime and they have brothers or sisters that are of young age, we want to engage that family to try to break that cycle.
But IMPD Deputy Chief Chris Bailey says curbing youth violence takes everybody, even you.
It can't just be a police department's problem. It can't just be the Office of Public Health and Safety's problem or these individual community groups. Everybody in this county has to care because it impacts them one way or the other.
Reporting downtown, Haley Bull, Fox 59 News.
Bailey encourages everyone to become involved in community organizations, volunteer, or help provide resources. An unsolved murder from 2012. Tonight, the family is asking anyone with answers for their help. It's been 6 years since Sharice Bingham was killed. She was walking her dogs in White River State Park when she was shot, and the case is still open. Her family is still dealing with the pain of not knowing why she was murdered and hoping that her killer comes forward.
The pain is still real. I don't show it a lot because it's inside. Let's bring this to a close. Let's find out why it happened. Let's get some justice over it.
If you have any information on Sharice's death, you can reach out to Indiana State Police. A woman on parole is back behind bars after agents say they found drugs, guns, and cash in her house. Authorities say 21-year-old Ariel McMahon failed a drug screen at a regular parole meeting. Then at her Eastside home, agents found several pounds of marijuana, more than $10,000 cash, plus 2 handguns, an AK-47 and an AR-15, which was stolen last year from a house in Hamilton County. Indy's parole division says they've now seized 208 guns in the last 18 months. McMahon had been on parole for a conspiracy to commit armed robbery. Scotty's Brewhouse is filing for bankruptcy just 2 years after the original owner sold the company. Per the filing, Scotty's will be closing 4 locations: downtown Indy, the original Muncie spot, and another in Waco, Texas. Scott Wise started the company in 1996 but sold it to a company from Phoenix. In a statement, Wise says his heart never left the company and he's sad to see it happen to employees so close to the holidays. Court documents show the company blames their losses downtown on increased competition and in Muncie to a demographic change.
They have a few of their stores that are not doing well financially, so they're really going to use this as protection from their creditors.
There's no timeline on when the 3 Central Indiana locations will be set to close, but we are told it will be before the end of the year. A water line break shut down a busy stretch along Mass Ave for much of the day. Citizens Energy says issues were first reported around 9 this morning. Crews worked to dig up the street, assessing the damage underground. One building on Mass Ave is without water, but we're told no restaurants are affected. The 20-inch main was installed in 1875. Indy City Council members met tonight to talk about an audit that shows the Marion County Sheriff's Office is underfunded and understaffed. Tonight, the audit firm presented final numbers on the Sheriff's Office. It shows the office is facing increasing demand while there are staffing shortages and high rates of attrition. Now, that is contributed to overtime that's more than double between 2015 and 2017. The audit also found a group of people who had been booked into jail more than 50 times per year. The agency is suggesting a movement toward rehabilitation programs for them instead of using funds to continually arrest the same repeat offenders. A statewide coalition is pushing inclusive hate crime legislation in 2019. The group of employers, faith leaders, and organizations are launching Indiana Forward. The company is pushing higher penalties for crimes motivated by race, religion, gender identity, or sexual orientation. Indiana still is one of only 5 states without any hate crime laws. Last week, Governor Holcomb said finding a solution to the issue would be one of his top priorities in 2019. Hamilton Southeastern has approved a redistricting proposal that will move thousands of Fisher students next school year. Around 2,000 students between kindergarten and 8th grade will be sent to a new school in the fall. The redistricting follows the addition of a new elementary school in the district. The district asked for community input during the 3-month process that led to tonight's decision.
Well, we're looking south to clear skies in central Indiana, and we're looking for the potential of a few shooting stars. That's the view in Fishers looking along 37 from Alderman Luxury Imports, where the skies are mainly clear. We did clear things out and watch the snow melt away here on the grounds at Connor Prairie. Temperatures were on the rise. The clearing out is underway, but not for everyone. There are some clouds beginning to move in from the north, and then eventually clouds coming up from the south will bring us some rain. We've got a little bit of a gap in between the two of them over downtown Indianapolis. It's mainly clear and 35 degrees. The west wind is blowing at 6 miles per hour. And tonight and tomorrow night, into the early morning hours of Thursday and Friday morning, the Geminid meteor shower will be peaking. This will probably be our best opportunity to see a few of these shooting stars. Brian Murphy, professor at Butler University, tells us to look to the southern skies, especially from 2 a.m. on. That's when we may see, especially away from the city lights, up to 50 of these shooting stars per hour. Good luck. I hope we have a chance to see some. Right now, the radar is quiet. There's a front in the area. The clouds are making their way into portions of central Hamilton County, and then they stall out. The front is stalling out as well. We had a nice afternoon temperature-wise, the warmest we've had here since December the 2nd. And we've tailed back now to 35 at the airport, 31 at Greenwood, and still 42 degrees downtown. Didn't it feel better? Crawfordsville is at 31, so there are some areas that are going to frost up. The high temperature today reached 49 degrees, which is more typical of about the 22nd or 23rd of November. The winds are going to be light and variable tonight. It is cold. There will be some frost and even a little bit of patchy fog. And then temperatures are likely to start to hold steady tonight as this front stalls out and the weather system to our south begins to move in. Not likely to see the rain for the morning commute, but by lunchtime, those rain chances increase to about 36% aerial coverage, meaning it's going to rain tomorrow, especially from lunchtime on. It won't be a continuous rain, but the rain threat will be with us as this system moves in. The clouds are streaming north. The rains arrive here on Thursday. They will be scattered, but we have better chances for rain before we get into the weekend. We'll track these rain chances and when we'll get to some dry time. It will be in the weekend forecast. Plus, an all-out weather pattern change is underway. A stretch of milder weather coming. How warm? That's coming up.
All right, thanks, Brian. We'll see you soon. Still to come, a shift in fatal drug overdoses across the U.S. What is now the deadliest drug in America amid the nation's opioid crisis? Plus,
we can take care of our firefighters more frequently, better.
A new plan to help injured heroes bounce back faster. We take a look at IFE's new in-house approach to supporting their crews. And it's been a week since Brightwood College announced its sudden closure, leaving students searching for a plan B. More on the big challenges many are now facing as the new semester nears. Here's tonight's news flash. A suspect is shot and killed at a St. Louis gas station, and the officer involved is in the hospital. Authorities say the officer confronted the driver of a reported stolen vehicle at the gas station. The driver reversed, knocking the officer to the ground. Police say the officer fired his gun, fatally hitting the suspect in the chest. The officer has a significant head injury but will survive. President Trump's former attorney and fixer Michael Cohen is sentenced to 3 years in prison. In August, Cohen pleaded guilty to criminal charges, including campaign finance violations tied to President Trump. Cohen admitted making illegal hush money payments to women who claim they had affairs with the president before he took office. Cohen was also ordered to pay $1.39 million in restitution, forfeit $500,000, and pay a $50,000 fine. UK Prime Minister Theresa May says she's grateful for supporters after surviving a vote of no confidence today. The vote was triggered by members of her own party over her handling of Brexit. May's victory protects her from another leadership challenge from within her own party for a year. She did tell her party, however, that she won't run in the next election in 2022. The CDC reports that fentanyl is now involved in more overdose deaths in the U.S. than any other drug. Heroin was the deadliest drug for 4 years until the 2016 numbers showed that fentanyl accounted for roughly 3,000 more deaths. An Indiana University study found that in Marion County, less than 15% of those overdose deaths were related to fentanyl before 2013. That jumped more than 50% in 2017. Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill is warning Hoosiers about a rise in online free trial scams, saying ads that look too good to be true, well, yeah, they probably are. The Better Business Bureau says these trials often include a small fee that traps customers into a monthly subscription. They say be sure to read all the terms and conditions, research reviews, and regularly check your credit card statements. The FTC says they've documented losses of more than $1 billion in the last 10 years. Development projects are getting a boost in 2 Hancock County communities thanks to this year's Stellar Communities Grant. Fortville and Greenfield, along with Hancock County, secured more than $14 million in state funding for a variety of projects. Fortville has plans to replace this car wash with a giant multi-use building next year. In Greenfield, work includes finishing construction on Franklin Park. Today, the city joined 16 Tech to break ground on its 60-acre campus on the near northwest side. The $120 million site will sit near IUPUI. 16 Tech says it's bringing the best thinkers in technology, manufacturing, and life sciences together for the space. The company says the first phase of development will create more than 2,600 jobs over the next 10 years.
You'll be surprised how the movements of a firefighter are very similar to the movements of an athlete, and we can kind of correlate that.
Firefighting is a dangerous job, and many of our city's heroes often deal with injuries on the job. Now, the Indianapolis Fire Department is taking a new approach to getting firefighters back on the job quicker and keeping them healthy. Fox 59's Nick McGill has the story.
It looks like the training room of a professional sports team. It's filled with those whose job requires high physical demands. So it only makes sense that inside this room at IFD headquarters,
we want to treat them like an athlete.
The Indianapolis Fire Department is launching a new program designed to get injured firefighters back on the job quicker. Part of a partnership with physical performance company Pro Team Tactical Performance.
We're getting our firefighters better care, and we're getting them back to what they signed up to do. They signed up to be firefighters.
The department previously used a managed care system, but high numbers of patients from outside the department made the process lengthy and costly. Now, firefighters will be able to receive specialized and exclusive treatment, all the while saving the city a ton of money.
Just in physical therapy costs alone, that's about $300,000 a year that we're saving.
The average time off for injured firefighters is about 12 days, and each day costs the department roughly $1,000 for replacements. Pro Team Tactical owners and former pro athletes Jim Sorgi and Joey Van Dever say by treating firefighters like athletes, they can reduce downtime and the likelihood of overall injury.
They're getting seen quickly, they're getting the best care, the best equipment.
That's good news for those who have been through injuries before.
My experience was physical therapy twice a week, whether it be for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. With our Health and Wellness Center, we will be able to offer physical therapy as it's needed for the firefighters.
Overall, IFD says the new program will lead to healthier and less injury-prone firefighters. But if they are hurt, they'll be able to get the treatment they need and hopefully never have to come back.
We want to go to work. We don't want to be off. We don't want to be at home. We don't want to be sitting on the couch. We want to go to work.
For Fox 59 News, I'm Nick McGill.
Officials say the center will eventually move into a larger space in a converted firehouse. Part of their plan also includes an overall fitness plan to keep crews in top shape. Well, Brightwood College students are still facing questions after the school's sudden closure last week when the school's accreditation was pulled. Students can transfer to other schools, but it's easier said than done. Former student Nicole Marshall says Fortis is the only local school willing to take her credits so far and say they're only going to accept a few credit hours. She was only 6 months away from graduating before Brightwood closed, but now she thinks she's going to have to start her program all over.
I wish they would have been honest with us then, so it wouldn't have been like a shock. You could have been honest, let us know what was what, and we could have moved in different ways instead of feeling like we were secure in our program and we would be finishing.
Marshall says a lot of the details are still unknown, but she is trying to stay positive. We have more information for Brightwood students on our website.
Tomorrow morning, the rain showers will be moving up generally from southern Indiana into central Indiana by early afternoon. These are not going to be continuous. There will be waves of scattered showers from time to time, but more rain will fall, especially Friday afternoon and Friday night. That's when this weather system will be at its peak with its rainfall. Here's Friday, 12 noon. Here's Friday evening. You can see how the bands of rain have increased now, especially over eastern and southeastern Indiana, and that rain will dissipate by about Saturday afternoon. So the second half of the weekend will be the better of the two. The temperatures will remain mild, and look at the 8 to 14 day outlook. This is based on overnight computer runs that go out over 240 hours. Over the next 8 to 14 days, the general consensus here is that the temperatures will average at least above average right up until Christmas. So tonight, the skies are mainly clear. Look for a shooting star. The low temperature hovering around 28 degrees. The clouds return quickly by daybreak. Rain showers will be lightly scattered about the area by lunchtime, but rains will break this weekend. Temperatures stay mild into next week.
Well, studies show most Americans would rather text than make a call. So what's the point? Now California could soon put a tax on those text messages. The Public Utilities Commission wants to support more programs that would make phone service accessible to people who can't afford them. The plan calls for a flat surcharge on data plans and would not include a fee per text. Okay, that's the good part.
That's better.
Leaders are set to vote on the issue next month. Yeah, don't
What would we do? My bill would be like $900 a minute.
Text, please.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, coming up in sports, we've got some exciting stuff with the Pacers. Victor Oladipo made his return after sitting out for a little over 3 weeks, and he made himself known in the Pacers' victory. We'll hear from him and have highlights around the corner. Welcome to sports. I'm Trisha Whitaker. Well, last Sunday, the Colts put a stop to the Texans' 9-game winning streak. This Sunday, they're hoping to repeat their streak-spoiling tactics against the Cowboys, who boast 5 wins in a row. The Colts are still fighting for that final wild card spot in the AFC, so a win this Sunday would be huge. And they're hoping their starting center will be there to help with that effort. Ryan Kelly practiced today after sitting out for 3 weeks. And as he said, if I have to sit on the sideline for one more game, I'm going to go crazy. No word yet on whether or not he'll play, but He's optimistic
about
about
back out there for 3 weeks. It doesn't seem like a whole lot of time, but it takes a little bit of time to get back acclimated. But that's what walkthroughs are for and doing all that. So after doing the walkthrough, I feel really good about it. Getting back out there with the guys, and so just take it one day at a time.
It's big. Evan's done a great job stepping in there, and we know on this team it takes everybody who has a locker spot in here. So Evan's done a great job, but it's always comforting to have your center back. Yeah.
Well, it's been nearly a month since Victor Oladipo last took the court for the blue and gold after hurting his knee in the Hawks game. The Pacers have fared okay without him, but tonight they were certainly happy to have him back. There he is after practicing yesterday for the first time, taking the court against the Bucks tonight at home. In 29 minutes of game time, he racked up 12 points. He nails his only 3 of the game here to give Indiana the 16-9 lead. We jump to the fourth quarter. Pacers with a 16-point lead, and Thaddeus Young with a nasty dunk worth another look. He had a double-double, 25 points, 11 rebounds. Miles Turner, another great game for the center, hits the 3, and that's the dagger for Indiana. Turner with 23. They win it 113-97, and Vic clearly happy to be back.
We appreciate things a lot more when they're kind of taken from you almost, So I love this game. I love playing out here, playing with my teammates. I miss playing with them, and I miss playing in front of these fans. So just thankful I can come out here and compete at a high level.
Great win for the Pacers tonight.
And a surprise for Purdue alum Tyler Trent that came all the way from Washington, D.C. Tyler's dad tweeting today to thank President Donald Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, and Congresswoman Susan Brooks after Tyler received an American flag that had been flown over the U.S. Capitol building. The gift came with a signed letter from the president that said he and Melania were moved by Tyler's courage and determination in his battle with cancer. Tyler's dad described the gift as priceless, and we are thinking of Tyler tonight.
All right, well, looking ahead toward the weekend, it's going to start off on a little bit of a showery note here, but these are going to be on again, off again showers. So be prepared for at least some wet weather by lunchtime and tomorrow evening. Now, it won't be a continuous rain. It looks like the best of the rain will fall overnight Friday into early Saturday. Note these temperatures, though, gang. This is pretty impressive. Mid-upper 40s for the next 7 days. We've emerged from that cold weather pattern now. It looks to be milder now, at least right up until near Christmas. There may be a big shake-up around Saturday or Sunday just before the holiday.
Trisha gave you an applause.
I know, she likes
You deserve a standing ovation,
wow,
Brian, for that forecast.
Thank you very much. I know that.
Oh, I forgot about morning sports. Hold on, I gotta drag it over to the pre-pro.